My weekend was very eventful. Yeah.
Good, good. Well, I can't wait to hear all about that. I know it must have been because you had the single drop on Friday and the video, and I want to get into all that. But before we do, could you talk a little bit about your story and how you started making music?
Yes. So, let's see, where do we begin? Um, I mean, I learned how to DJ at a really early age. I think I was like 12 years old and learned from my dad how to like beat match and mix. And then by 16, I was like chopping up beats and instrumentals and doing like little mixtapes. And then by like the age of like 19, I think I made the decision where I was like, I'm going to go full-time music and just try to be involved. I started producing events and hosting events, which was a big part for me. It was like really building a community and being a part of that. And then when I was 21, I was in this producer group called Z Plus, and did that for a while. And I started Sky Society in 2013, and just have been rocking as that for since then.
Yes, and here we are. You got to tell me, where did the name Sky Society come from?
So it was through a meditation I had. I was trying to build a brand and a platform and a vessel that was just going to allow me to continue to grow with it, and was very intentional about shining the spotlight on not just me, but a whole frequency and a whole vibe as far as my live show and as far as my brand and my community. And it stuck, and yeah, it's been revealing itself over time, and yeah, I'm really happy that that's the route that we went.
Amazing. I'm happy that's the route you went too. That's awesome. What
Thanks so
I
much.
found to be super cool and unique about you as well is you also used to own your very own record store and music venue.
Yes, I did. So in 2016, I had been living in Chicago at that time, and also living in Lancaster. So, I had a lot of residencies in Chicago, and I had one in Lancaster. So I was like traveling back and forth every other week. And this opportunity presented itself to open up my own record shop. And I was having like small events there on the first floor. And within 9 months, we kind of like grew, and I took over the lease upstairs and on the third floor as well. So just was spending a lot of money investing in that property, and just building it out, and then ended up doing some more live shows, and obviously furthering the collection. So that was from 2016 to 2020, and then it just reached a point where I just needed a new space and kind of grew out of that. So since then, I've kind of been transitioning. I still have my online shop, and just have been focusing more about pushing the Sky Society brand and traveling, which has been my main priority. And through that, launching my own label. So I've got some really good friends of mine that are helping me, and really dedicated to the culture of DJing and mixing, and really showing people that foundation of being a selector and being a DJ, and just staying true to the culture.
Yes, very cool. Well, flash forward to today. Friday, you released Holy Time.
Yes.
Let's hear about it. What was the process putting this song together?
So I produced this song 2 years ago, actually.
Wow.
And it was an interesting time for me. I was going through that transition of the shop and in my brand. And the vocals came to me first. The hook came to me first. And I recorded it on my phone. I was outside, and there was birds chirping, and there was chimes in the background. So I was like, oh, I want to record this way because I like the textures behind it. And then produce the beat, and it really hit, and I was like, wow, this is like pretty impressive. I kind of want to expand on this. So I recorded the verse, which is in the second part. I recorded that on my phone too. So that's something that people don't know. Like all those, my verse and the lyrics and the chorus is all like through an iPhone.
That's very cool.
It sounds really good. I've mixed the shit out of that. So that was the concept, and the concept of the song is a union of the divine masculine and feminine energies. And I felt like at that time, the message of just like being very centered and being in my power of both of those energies, the masculine and feminine. I wanted to create a portal, an audio visual portal that the listener and the receiver of the song could really tap into the message of the song and the visuals of the song and use that for their own creation to inspire them and to have them in touch with both of those properties as well. So busted out the song, recorded all my parts. I sent it over to my friend Ehio Robo, and he loved it. And he recorded his vocals. And then for the past 2 years, we really just been perfecting the mix and the master. And back in October, on the full blue moon, we shot the music video in a 48-hour span. So it's all very intentionally aligned with astrology and time frame. And we didn't want to feel any anxiety about releasing the song. We just really felt like the divine timing was going to present itself. And I think a big thing for artists in this day and age too is like, you know, if you have a piece of music that you feel is like a timeless piece of music that really resonates with someone, not to feel anxiety about putting it out. Obviously, like, don't slack and sit on it. But I think, you know, kind of surrendering and giving the power to those forces was really just the same page and the frequency that we were on, myself and my whole team behind the production. So it's been a 2-year journey of the song, and just the feedback I'm getting from people through my DMs or text messages. It's just very heartwarming to know that the intention of the song is really resonating with them.
For sure. And what I thought was super unique about this track also is you can tell it has a lot of different influences in it. You got electronic sounds, R&B, soul. So I'm curious, what artists would you say are your biggest influences?
So it definitely changes because being an avid record collector, I really like enjoy dating back in history, because I feel like all that music is a foundation and an inspiration for a lot of newer artists, even if they don't know it or not. An artist named Fela Kuti, you've probably heard of him, big Nigerian artist. I just loved all of his music, his production, the rawness, and just the intention of his mission and what he was doing as an artist. I think big artists right now that are inspiration, I really like Khruangbin. I love the sounds, the organic sounds of what they're doing, and it's very playful and fun too. And it's accessible music. Like, you can listen to it in the club, but you can also listen to it at home. I think that's kind of what I've been really trying to set in and being intentional with is, hey, I want you to be able to show this to your grandparents, and I also want to be able to play it for your kids and listen to it in your car, at the club, when you're outside meditating, whatever it is. So I think those two artists are big influences of mine. And yeah, I would say that. Oh, also like Sade and Erykah Badu are big like R&B influences of mine as well. So I think that kind of encompasses like all of the inspirations. I have a bunch more, but those are the ones that come to mind.
Yes, you can definitely hear the influence in the song, which is super cool. And you mentioned the visual. It's out. It came out Friday as well. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but going back to the video, what was kind of your vision in creating that?
So I wanted to, he plays like the role of like the spirit. And when his voice comes through on the track, you really tap into that frequency as well. And Janice, who is featured in the video, a really good friend of mine, very, very strong bond that we've had together. And we both wanted to play the role of divine masculine and feminine, and really being the visual interpretation for that, for people to tap in. And the video is like, it's basically the journey of you treating your day-to-day life on a ritualistic base. And like, what I mean by that is like, when I'm cleaning my kitchen, for example, that's like a ritual for me. I look at it as like, it's a blessing to be able to have a roof over my head, to be able to clean out the old energy, get rid of whatever is not meant for me, and really treat my sacred space as what it is. And you can see that by the singing bowls that we have in the video, the specific key of light card. We do like, we kind of zoom in on this little key on my hand and in the back, and just the messages behind all that. And really just allowing people to understand that like, hey, like, I think it's a flip of perspective. Sometimes we look at things as like we have to do them, like it's a task, it's a responsibility, as to compared as like we get to do these things. Like these are things that we're blessed to do. And I think that little switch of perspective just lightens things up and really allows you to just be present. And that's what I wanted for the song in the video. I just want people to be present and share that inspiration. Are you allowed to curse on the radio station?
Yeah. Oh, say whatever you want.
Well, like
I
I joke about it, but it's like, you know, and it's funny. It's like we could have made a song about selling drugs and fucking bitches and doing all that shit. But like personally, me and where I look at culture and society and my vibe, I'm not trying to feed into that toxic masculinity and the degrading of our women. And I can give you a million songs that do that. Yeah. But that's not the frequency that we're on. So I was trying to be, me and my team and everyone involved were trying to be very, very intentional about creating that sacred space for people to tap into. And you said it yourself, it's very unique. It's not something that you see all the time, but those influences that I shared with you, like Fela and Sade and Erica and Khruangbin, I feel like that is the frequency. Yeah. And there's a time and place for everything, you know. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying for us specifically, I didn't want to put something into the universe and offer it to people that was going to lead them in the wrong direction.
Right. I love that about you. And I gotta say, the video goes along with the song very, very well. And I just knew that you and the woman in the video, Janice, you said is her name?
Yeah. Yeah,
I knew you guys had to have had a bond or something because your chemistry was amazing in the video. She did awesome too. You all.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and she's the real deal. Like she is a healer herself and has a great community. And it's like, you know, these are the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. Yep. You know, like that's what, like when I'm hanging out with Janice, it's like that's our relationship, our bond. And even during the video with the whole team, we like sat in ceremony and, you know, set intentions and meditated together. And it, like I said, the affirmations that are coming from you and coming from people that have seen the video, it hits home to me to understand that, like, when you feel like something is, it's 444, it's divine timing.
Oh, what do we do in Fed Society? What do we
do? Just take the message from the universe, you know?
Okay.
We're on the right path. So you know, that hits home to me the most. It's like when I created Sky Society, I didn't want it to be about me, Wani, the vessel. I don't want people necessarily to get attached to the physical aspects of me, just to more tap into the frequency and the message of the music and allow that to fuel them and inspire them. You know, it's tough being an artist or a creator or an influencer, if you will. But I think a true influencer is someone that can influence people for good, not necessarily just to sell products and stuff like that. It's like you actually have power and you're leading. And when you're conscious of that, I think it's a responsibility that, you know, you want to lead people in the right direction, not in the wrong direction.
Absolutely. Well, I love the way that you're using your platform because I also think that's really important. You have a platform to guide people one way or another, and you're making the most of it. That's all we can do. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that in your kind words. It means a lot.
Holy Time is just the first single off this upcoming EP, yes?
Yes, correct.
That's dropping in July. What else can you say about the EP?
Yeah, so July 23rd is the date. This is Heartbeats, The Love Loops Volume 2. I put out Volume 1 in December of 2019. And Volume 2 probably would have came out in 2020, but being we all went through, you know, that whole span, it wasn't the right time for it. So the EP has 3 other tracks. It starts with a track called Feel at Home, then goes into Holy Time. Then it follows up with a track called Quite Simple. And then it ends with the track called Coins in My Pocket. Quite Simple is like a broken beat, 126 house jam, very ethereal, but a strong bass line and percussion. And the final track, Coins in My Pocket, is a little bit higher energy, same BPM, but with the synths and the percussion, it's definitely like a club track. And we had our launch party on Saturday and got to play those tracks out. There's probably like 300 people there. So it's a good test for me to be able to play these songs on bigger sound systems and really like tapping in and noticing what people are saying about the tracks, whether they know it's produced by me or not. I kind of like knowing the feedback in person, and yeah, we got great feedback from it. So I'm super excited. As I said before, you know, I'm really in my bag and trying to produce music that is accessible for all demographics and any type of setting and place.
That's amazing. And I think that is important now more than ever. So it's really special that you're doing that. And
Thank
July
you so
26th,
much.
you get the full package.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome. And as if you're not busy enough, I know you've also been working at launching your very own recording company, High Frequency Recordings.
Yes.
What was your mission with that?
So I wanted to create a platform for myself and for my friends to be able to put out music that they were just really passionate about, very intentional about. Higher Frequency Recordings is just that. You know, we want to have people tap into a higher frequency of music, not like low vibrational stuff like we were talking, you know, about before. And I'm just seeing in the scene that there's a big separation in that. You know, I've been able to tour and play a lot of sets and be around a lot of DJs, and something that I noticed, like, you know, I'll go check out opening DJs all the time and hear music, and, you know, something that I notice is like a lot of music gets played over and over again, and just like the derogatory stuff, like the stuff that's promoting violence, the stuff that is promoting like sexual abuse and drug doing, like I personally don't want to be endorsing that.
Yes.
There's a time and place for it, and there's no judgment on people that feel like they want to take a substance to enhance something. But me and my journey, I've been able to find peace in not giving my power away by doing that. And I want to put out music that people are in alignment with that. And I want to be very intentional and clear about that message and what we're trying to do. So yeah, I really didn't want to wait for people to sign my tracks, you know?
Yes.
And I think a big part of that is my journey over the past decade. I've been able to establish really solid connections and people that trust me through my music selection. So now having my own platform to put that music out and sell records and put those tangible pieces in people's hands is like, it just really means a lot to me. It's very full circle for everything.
Yes, that's incredible. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And now you can kind of just like do your own thing. You have
Yes.
your label, you can produce, you're the total package. And that I think is really beneficial to artists. So that's really great.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And as I said before, you know, like bringing people along with me, I know how hard it is to be an independent artist and just get the light of day.
Yes.
It's tough, you know. There's so many talented people on Instagram that I see, and just based off of the algorithm, if someone doesn't see your stuff, like it can feel really defeating. And that's something I've been trying to actively just work around. And I think the biggest thing is strength in numbers and genuinely supporting people.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And now that things are starting to kind of clear up in the world, do you have any plans to do any touring or performances coming up?
Yeah, so we just did this big performance on Saturday. So we're kind of just touching base with that and regrouping, using a lot of that. It was at Warehouse on Watts, which is in Philadelphia, pretty premier music venue.
I saw on your story, that's what's on your Instagram story, right?
Yeah. And since the pandemic, they've really done an awesome job of pivoting and forming into a full production team. So like they have their own TV station on Twitch. They've recorded the whole set, very high quality. Like it's very similar to a boiler room. The quality is great, and that's content that, you know, I'll touch base with and kind of strategically plan it out and release it, and that's going to help us really book the tour dates that we're planning in August and announcing that tour. But right now we're looking at Denver, LA, Chicago, New Orleans, Brooklyn. We'll do another Philly date, Miami, and Lancaster.
Fun.
And then that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great because we can take that content of actual like live video of people interacting with the music and the release and share that with promoters. And obviously you've probably seen the rollout of Holy Time and the whole content. Something that I've noticed at this point in my career, although I am doing a lot of the work on my own in my team, just trying to package everything together and be very intentional about what we're sending out to promoters and to club owners, so that they know the vibe, what we're going for, and that they can share it with their people. And instead of just feeling like they're in the dark and they just have to throw something up on their socials and stuff like that. I think it really helps to just have a well-branded package for people that they can tap into. That's what I've noticed from this rollout and spending so much time on it.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that Maine gets added to your lineup.
Yeah, what's popping in Maine? What's good? What's going on in Maine?
We're gonna have to make arrangements, maybe around your Brooklyn date. That's probably the closest one. Or maybe Pennsylvania. One of those is probably our closest one.
For sure. How's the scene in Maine? What's going on up there?
You would love it here, Sky Society. It's so beautiful, very nature, gorgeous, ocean.
Nice.
But we do have, it's just kind of starting to pop back up, but the club scenes are here, but
yeah,
it's getting there, and there's people here thirsty for entertainment. So I'm sure we'd love to have you.
Yeah, well, let's connect on the gram. Let's share info and touch base. We would love that. That's another thing too, is like, with these bigger metropolitan cities and people seeing like the dates, just trying to connect with those smaller markets and get the music out. And it's, there's been a year and a half off, so there's new things that are popping up and new opportunities. So yeah, we're definitely open to collaborating and building for sure.
That's what I like to hear. And I know you've got all sorts of things going on that we just talked about, but are there any other additional projects that you're working on that you're really excited about?
Yeah, so like over the last 2 years, I've really built up a solid vault and discography of music that we're putting out. And now I'm noticing is more of just like strategically planning those releases. Something I noticed that's very different from back in the day and now, like, you'd have an artist like Erykah Badu or The Roots or Sade, and they would put out a body of work and people would sit on that body of work for a year or 2 years. I think this instant gratification thing that's kind of happening with creators, it puts a lot of pressure on people to like pump out work. But at the same time, like, I think we can take more responsibility for that and really let people sit with bodies of work instead of just like bombarding them with new stuff because we feel the pressure to. And that's what I'm trying to be more intentional about, is like, I'm going to let this EP ride out throughout the summer. I have some collaborations coming out on my label with some of my friends for tracks that are done, but I'm really moving. Like, Holy Time is a great, I think, foundation for people to really tap into like the production side of my music, but also writing music, like vocals and choruses, and kind of moving into looking to perform with like a backing band for some of this other music that I'm producing that necessarily isn't like beats and stuff that I'd be mixing out. So I think that's what I'm excited about, is allowing people to really view the project in both lights, like the live performance aspect of it, but also like DJing and playing after parties in the underground scene. I really don't want to be boxed into either way. And I think independent artists in this day and age really have the power to do that, not being on a label and not having a label say like, hey, your image needs to be this, you need to be this, like your numbers, and that's the biggest thing. I talk to a lot of artists, and what I'm hearing is like, of course it's a numbers game. Your numbers have to be good, but if you have the numbers and you're doing it on your own with your own community, you don't necessarily have to be signed to a big label, and you can protect your intellectual property and really just the integrity behind what your project is. And there's a lot of really great artists that are doing that right now,
including yourself. Really?
Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. So that's what I'm excited about, is just the whole, I guess the vision and how I feel like I really want people to tap into what we're offering and, just be respected for the art and give praise to the universe, give praise to God, and, allow people to really tap into that. I'm not, I'm trying to share a message that's a bit greater than me.
Absolutely. Well, that's so exciting, Sky Society. A lot to look forward to coming from you in the future, for sure, EP and beyond. Last but certainly not least, here in the state of Maine, our state motto is the way life should be. I know you're going to have a good answer for this. So, I want to know, in your opinion, what is the way life should be?
I think the way life should be is um, peace at heart, peace of mind, and in harmony with the earth, in nature, and just really tapping into that. That gives me it gives me good balance in my life, which is a main thing in staying heart centered and staying grounded. And anytime I feel like I'm being distracted or straying away from that, I always just try to tap back into that. Making decisions on where I want to go or who I want to connect with and collaborate with. Like, I think that is a main focal point for me, and a filtering point is like, does it bring me peace at heart? Does it bring me peace of mind? And is it in harmony with my environment and how I'm moving?
Perfect. I knew you were going to have a good answer. I just love your vibe and everything you're doing. So thank you so much for chatting with me today. And of course, we love the single, but cannot wait for the EP July 23rd, right?
Yes, July 23rd on Higher Frequency Recording. So thank you so much, and appreciate you tapping in.
Oh, I appreciate you. We'll see you here in no time, I'm sure.
Thanks so much. Yeah, let's connect on Instagram. Send us a message and let's follow up. And we'd love to connect with you. I appreciate you.
Amazing. I appreciate you. I can't wait. Take care, Sky Society.
Take care. Cheers.